everybody, welcome to today's Youth Live Talk Show. Today with me I have my co-presenter.
Hi, I'm Ruben. You actually didn't introduce yourself, eh?
Oh, hey everyone, my name's Luto and I'm with Ruben.
Yes. So, welcome back everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, over the weekend at Holy Land, our father was teaching. We had service on Saturday and we also had service on Sunday. And one of his main topics was showroom and staying true to yourself, something like that, along those lines, right? So,
Yes.
So this week on our talk show, that's going to be one of our main themes as well. So before we go deeper into anything, I have my panel on my left-hand side. Can you guys please introduce yourselves?
Hi guys, I'm Mugana.
And I'm a CP.
Hi guys, I'm Rita.
Hi guys, I'm Precious.
All right, so as Ruben said, that Prophet spoke about showroom today, which is kind of what we're going to talk about today. So from what we understood, being having showroom mentality, he's trying to teach us to be true to ourselves and be our authentic selves. Ladies, what you guys have to say about that?
Yeah, I think the teaching was very much telling us to be ourselves, be true to ourselves, be real with ourselves, and that truth will always catch up with us, whether or not we try avoid it or try to actually confront it. It will always confront us.
Yeah. Any add-ons?
And with the teaching, I realized that it actually made us realize our lives in showroom and what we actually are. And from then, we can actually progress and everything. So, yeah.
All right. Okay. So today we'll be talking about the good and bad about being of code switching. All right. So that is our topic for today. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, viewers. So before the break, we spoke about what we were talking about today. And as you can see by the title, it is the good and bad of code switching. But before we go into depth, I don't understand what code switching is. Luto or anyone, can you please explain what code switching is?
Okay, so code switching is how you talk, and you choose how you talk depending on who you're speaking to. We understand there are certain moments when you have to speak a certain way depending on who you're talking to. But for example, how I talk to you right now is how I can talk to people in general. But then when I'm with a particular group of people, let's say I'm with like my yarbirds, and all of a sudden I'm like, yarbirds, bro. And you know I don't speak like that. That's code switching. Yeah. But obviously we understand there are situations where it's needed where you need to speak professionally, and then certain things like jargon come into place. So obviously how I talk to you is not how I'm going to talk to my boss, because my boss is going to be like, and then? Yeah. So there is that. So yeah.
Thank you for that. I hope the people at the back were hearing that. So as we're talking about code switching, how can code switching affect you and staying true to yourself? How does code switching affect staying true to yourself?
Okay, so at least from my lived experiences with code switching, I know code switching is like, I feel like it's sort of like a protective mechanism almost. So you're kind of like guarding yourself against the embarrassment of seeming like you're not well spoken or something. Sometimes if you're speaking in front of, and like a really real example is if you're with your white friends, and you've lost all sense of actual, like the way you speak, you lose the way you normally, like you're the normal inflection of your voice, and suddenly you're this, oh yes, yeah, quite, and yeah, it is quite funny, it is quite lovely actually how the weather has managed to grace us today, and like that's not who you are, but when you do that consistently, it low-key becomes yourself. Like, it becomes part of you. So I don't know, I feel like that's just my lived experience with it. I don't know about you guys, if you've had the same sort of like where it becomes a part of who you are, speaking a certain way because you're constantly around a specific group of people.
Yeah. From my experiences, I think with me being around a lot of business people, I have to speak a specific way because I'm representing other people. So I can't be like, "Mfethu, mamela ukuthi khambani ngithi ufundani." You have to like, excuse me, sir, excuse me, ma'am. So it does have benefits like in the professional side, and it does have benefits with your friends as well. Get a little lingo behind it. So yeah.
Yeah, so it does go back to what I had said. We're not discriminating against code switching in general, but we're saying that sometimes, yes, it's necessary, and sometimes it's just not, because obviously you're changing who you are depending on who you're with. As Prophet says, you're wearing different masks. Yeah. So that's how code switching can affect us. Any add-ons?
But in my opinion, I feel like code switching won't affect you if you really know who you are. It won't, honestly.
This is real.
Because it does differ, because like when we have to speak in a professional manner, obviously then you have to, then you know yourself outside of professionalism.
Yeah.
That, hey, Asipia speaks like this, or Ban speaks like this, wara wara, that type of stuff, you understand? So yeah.
All right. So we have a question here that says, how do we present ourselves to people with language, whether it's vernac or English? Ooh.
Is that
What?
in terms of introduction?
Yeah.
How do you introduce yourself to people?
So you're going for an interview, you know where you're from, you know how you speak, and then you have an interview and you know now the person in interview is called Jonathan. And now you have to talk a particular way because you're talking to a Jonathan. You're not talking to a Sizwe.
What if Jonathan is black? Is Jonathan, like, does this have to do anything with race?
Yeah. So code switching tends to happen a lot depending on the race you're talking to.
Yeah, that is true.
So like Mogana said, when you're with your white friends, you're going to talk a particular way. Maybe with your colored friends, you're going to talk a particular way. With your Indian friends, you're going to talk a particular way. With your black friends, you're going to talk about a particular way. That is what technically code switching is. You change how you speak according to who you are with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think when it comes to code switching and like what it has to do with how you present yourself and the language you present yourself with, I know I'm sorry to be doing this, Mom, but this is the one. So I think the first time I ever saw a conscious version of like code switching was when I was talking to my mom. She was laughing with me. She's speaking Venda, and when people get like passionate, Venda, you go to Venda, you're not going to speak in English if you're passionate about something. And she's speaking to me. She's like, she's going off, she's laughing and all that stuff. She gets a phone call. Hi, how are you? And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, whoa. Where did the Venda girl go? When did Mrs. eating avocado off the bone go? Like, I feel like a lot of the time, the way you present yourself or the version of like yourself that you want people to see is determined by whether or not you code switch. Because if you, obviously when you pick up the phone to like business call or something, or even in her case, if it wasn't even a business call, it was a friend that I think in her mind they knew a certain version of her. And the same things happen with me. It's like if somebody knows a certain version of me, that's the me that's going to every time I get on the phone with that person. So it's going to be get on the phone. If I'm talking with, Sally, it's, hey, Sally. How are you? I'm kidding, guys. No, it's not that bad. But something of that variation.
Even if it was that bad, no judgment. It's a safe space.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah. You make it point. Yeah.
All right. No add-ons, ladies? No code switching instances. So how Magana says, I think we've all seen it with our parents, particular. You're driving, or it's worse when they're grilling you, or mid shouting session. Luto, quack, 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 quack. Then, hey.
Exactly.
This is you.
Yeah.
This is what happened to the person I was with like 2 seconds ago. So and then let's also talk about code switching. Also happens it does affect our vernac or our mother tongues. And how do you think that's important to who we are as people?
No, before we go into that, let's all say a word or a phrase in our mother tongue. Starting with you. Luta.
Wow. He pulled that card.
All right, a phrase. Okay,
Xhosa.
I'm gonna a very popular one that my tribe loves is uyangiqhela, which means you're messing with me.
It sounds so aggressive.
So, and could you see I quote like, well, it happens automatically. Like my accent changed when I spoke my mother tongue.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ruben.
Oh, that's real.
Hi, Bo. We're not skipping your booty.
No. We should skip me.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, you brought it out. My brother, you're going to go and speak.
I'll go last.
You brought
You know
it
how I
out.
like going first? Especially at the end. Now I'll go last. You know, and I'm with ladies only today. And you know what they say? Okay, here's my phrase. Because I'm English speaking. My phrase is ladies first. So
You cannot be for real right now.
Side-eye.
go ahead.
You cannot be. Okay, since it is the evening, I am Venda. Don't act shocked because you're not shocked. I am Venda. And like when it's evening, we say Ndimasiari because it means like good evening. So yeah, don't act shocked. You know. Asibe, go.
No, guys, I'm an English-speaking child. I
Don't
don't speak
lie.
Benang.
I
don't.
Side eye.
have a little bit of shame about
I'm
that.
Xhosa, but like, ish.
Okay. Nothing, not even hello.
No, bro, like.
All right, it's all right.
Okay, yeah, sawubona. Mzulu phela, hayibo.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Rita?
Oh, so I'm Venda, so I would usually say Diambachi Venda. And when you note my change in tone, it's very different from when I speak Zulu, because when I speak Zulu, kulma nempincha yabo. So like it's very different. And I can't come to my mom, Diri. Ma ababona, you get me? It's so disrespectful and all that. So I feel like code switching usually changes even your personality to some extent.
Yes.
So yeah.
Gets in west side. Hey. Side eye. Okay, I'm Shona, by the way. But I don't really speak Shona at home. I speak mostly English, you know. But the one I know, Mom, I know you're watching, is Iwe. Hey. When that one comes out, yay! When that one comes out, it's like, yay. Or yewe. Yeah, but you can't say Iwe to your mom. You'd be like, Iwe.
Wait,
to
what
your
does
friends.
Iwe
What does it mean?
It means like, wena, you.
Oh, you.
You.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
it's like
you.
yeah, but you know, you can use it in a fun way as well when you're speaking to your friends, like iwe. Like when you're making a joke, it's like iwe. But if it's your mom, it's iwe. You know, like I'm
It's like saying yabona wena ngesixhosa.
yeah.
I thought you didn't speak
I
I thought you didn't speak Xhosa at all. And then all of a sudden,
Truth said, hello, I am here. Deal with me.
She's code switching.
Your truth came out.
She's code switching.
You
Yeah,
uncode
no, hey,
switched.
literally.
That's one of the bad of code switching.
Okay. He's cooking. He's cooking.
let him cook.
Let him-
Let him cook. All right, so let's get back to the question. That says, what makes our language important to our identity?
Thing is, you see it here. Like, I
Yes.
feel like in amongst ourselves, you know, we're a group of black people. And in this space, we're so free to come out and speak our home languages, our mother tongues, because when it boils down to it, our mother tongues are where we come from.
Yeah.
Those are the roots of like where we come from. And even though, you know, you grew up in Pretoria or Sandton,
Yeah.
it's at the end of the day, your roots, your home is rooted in that language.
So true.
So I feel like when you like to disregard that part of yourself, which often happens when you like code switch too much,
Yeah.
is you get so used to like not being true to yourself or your own language that you lose the importance of it to your identity. So I know even for me, like, especially like being Venda only became such a, it used to not be embarrassing for me, but it wasn't something that I was happy to like, not happy to, but like I would openly come and tell people, oh, I'm Venda.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like now it's whenever I speak to people and it's like, you know, my name is Mukona, but Mukona, not Makana.
Wait,
Mukona.
no.
Mukona.
Say your full name, actually.
Mukona Jote.
Oh,
It means the
love
one, like the way.
Love it.
We do love a little bit of Venda girly. But I mean, like the fact that my name has become so, I'm so proud of my name now. Because it's my home language. It's where I'm rooted in. And I feel like that's a huge part of our identity. Like when we have names in our home languages, it becomes so part, like integral to our identity. So, I mean, that's just for me. I don't know about you guys, yeah.
Ladies? Any add-ons?
I started realizing the importance of my language when I was offering prayer, you get me?
Yes.
So I'd offer prayer, but my vocab is limited because it's English. Yo.
Yo.
So when I'd
George,
offer
can lead the chat.
in vendor, yeah. When I'd offer my prayer in vendor, I'd like understand that it's coming from here. You get me? Salunayo lento.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's the importance
It's
of your
like-
language because
Yeah,
it
like
connects you,
yeah,
man.
like
It-
Prophet even says he'll say, when you're angry, which language do you speak?
Exactly.
You know, like even
Because
sometimes
English don't cut it.
Yeah, like even when
English don't cut it.
you wanna like get your point across, you're like, I'm not even gonna use the English word because the English word is not gonna target you the way I want to target you. So if I use my mother tongue, it's going to hit
That someone
points.
is pissing you off and you're like, Anishani,
yeah.
Anishani.
And your guys' language is it seems very aggressive, especially what did you say? What is that's so aggressive. Like if you have to tell me that, I'll be like,
You know, like there's even like growing up, like if someone like you're like you're lazy to do something, you know, instead of being like, oh, like don't be lazy, you know, that sounds nice. That sounds, you know, you're brushing me. It's like it's yeah, it's like you know, and then when you're gonna say it in Xhosa, it's like. So you're ngana.
yo.
So and you see how it like how you all responded compared to I'm like don't be lazy. So I think going back to how our languages help with our identity, it helps with our roots, it keeps our culture alive because most of our time that our languages go back to our tribe.
Yes.
So I think it's important to try and keep that. I know it's really hard in this globalized world. So let's hold on to the little percent we have because obviously, like me personally, when I go to like the Eastern Cape and I go to the rural areas of the Eastern Cape, best believe this girl, I'm sticking to English. I'm not gonna embarrass myself in my mother tongue.
Yeah, no shame. It's a bit embarrassing when you go back to the homelands.
Yeah, and they speak
And you're talking
like
to
the
people
true version.
in your home language, but they're not hearing you.
Yeah.
They hear Johannesburg.
and you feel so
Then
confident
you
about it.
It's so embarrassing.
So yeah, any add-ons, Ruben, on your language contributing to your identity?
Yes, it's as we're talking, I'm just remembering in my head. There's times where Prophet, like when we are just worshiping, and then he says, "Worship in your mother tongue."
Yes.
And then
Sing
it
a song in
becomes
your
so
mother tongue.
deep. You just see people falling around when they're worshiping, and So I think that goes very well with what we're saying now, connecting to your root and things like that. So yes.
All right. So going back to the topic, we're talking about code switching, this was part of it. But it says, is code switching subconscious or conscious?
This is a hill I will die on, guys. I think it is both
I think it's both as
subconscious
well.
and conscious. Yes.
Because I think also growing up, we're groomed to talk to certain people a particular way.
Yeah.
You're groomed to speak to your elders in a particular way. You're
Yes.
groomed to speak to your parents in a particular way, and how you speak to your friends is how, well, you groomed yourself with that one.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So I do think it is, maybe at first, maybe it is conscious. So you know, okay, I'm talking to Sarah now, so I have to like, you know, English needs to be on point. And then you like, you know, you're talking to Toby like, oh, like, you know, do you get what I'm saying? So I think there's stuff like that. So I think it is a bit of both.
100%.
I think it goes hand in hand with staying true to yourself. As Asipa said, if you know yourself, then you won't really code switch. So now, if you know yourself, you'll be conscious about you code switching. You'll be conscious about, this is not me. This is not me. This
Yeah.
is me
Oh,
not being me
wow.
right now.
Yeah.
So I think it goes hand in hand with that, staying true to yourself and knowing who you are.
Okay, but is it conscious or subconscious?
It depends. If you know yourself, if you are true to yourself.
Side eye.
Bombastic.
Bombastic side eye. Criminal offensive side eye. I know. I honestly think that code switching, like what Ruben was saying, I think code switching applies the most in situations where it's not like a necessity for you to change your inflection or like the way you speak, but it's sometimes when it's a decision that you make to blend in to where you are. So I know like when I moved to a different school, before the school that I went to like had way more black people than the school that I moved to afterwards. And once I moved to my like newer school, I realized that, you know, everybody they were speaking a specific way.
Yeah.
And for me, it wasn't necessarily a thing of like, I wanted to blend into that because I always valued being myself and being like who I am. But when you're really, really young, sometimes that isn't as clearly defined as you think it is. So you go into this space without necessarily a complete full idea of who you are, and you just start adopting their tone, their language, their inflection, and without even realizing, suddenly you're speaking the way they are, and it's not even code switching anymore, it's just the
how
way
it
you
is.
speak.
Yeah.
So I think in those situations, it's definitely an unconscious process because you're naturally bonded to become that way.
Yeah.
But I do feel like what Ruben was saying is true in that when you're choosing to see these people as the way that they speak is better than the way I speak, let me speak like them,
this,
then it's definitely a conscious process that you like, a decision that you make.
So this would be an example of like code switching because of you having insecurities.
Exactly.
So which would be the bad thing of code switching.
Exactly.
Ladies, Asipe, Rita, Precious?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Clearing the
I know,
throat.
I agree. If you don't know yourself and you're around a specific type or group of people, you're going to try and change things about yourself to fit in. But if you know yourself, you're going to shine and be like, hey, no way.
Yeah.
And you're going to be you. And they might even switch up and try to be like you.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
because
That is so true.
exactly. So you just need to be confident with who you are, but be careful, you know, don't be doing that in professional sites, you know.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I don't know if like code switching applies in a professional setting,
It-
because like if you call it code switching, because code switching I think is more of when
It's personal.
it's more
social
personal
settings.
and professional. Like you were saying, you wouldn't talk to your boss like, you know,
Yeah, how I'm
what's
talking
up? Like you
Yeah.
wouldn't do that to your boss.
Yeah.
And I think especially with what you were saying is that if you're true to yourself and you remain true to yourself, a lot of the time people adopt your way of speaking.
Yeah.
Like I know you'd be surprised how interesting or like how much white people take to have an affinity towards like the way black people speak even.
Yeah.
Because it's not a matter of they don't think it's a good way of speaking, but sometimes it's just a matter of black people never embrace it themselves, and because of that white people are like, what's the point of me embracing it if you can't do it yourself?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Asipe, Rita?
We don't have anything to say.
You don't have anything to say?
Sorry.
No. Okay, cool. Then, is code switching necessary for the world we live in?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
Yes.
It is.
I think so.
What makes you guys say that?
Can I start?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I love it. She even put her hand up. She said, class in session. I have an
Hello, ma'am.
opinion.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me use my example, okay? Let's say I'm trying to bag a job.
Correct.
Tyler Perry. You're
Yeah.
telling me I'm gonna come with my South African lingo. No. It won't take me seriously now. I need to be within the times. I need to portray myself as, yo, I'm determined. And obviously, it comes back with professionalism. I need to, how do I say this?
Twang.
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 No,
if you
guys.
must.
I don't think code switching and twanging is the same thing. Okay, for me personally.
It's the same because you see how I'm talking to you, right? So I could naturally have a twang. And then now you're speaking to me, be like, oh, and then you're going to,
But you see, with twanging now, uzo kreka. You're gonna crack. You know when you're
That's what I'm-
twanging.
yeah, and
you're
but
gonna crack.
That's why even like as you're saying, you're gonna crack. Most people we know who twang. We know who they are in our lives.
Side eye.
No, she said and then it looked straight at me. No.
That is like most people who twang in our lives, we know when they're twanging.
Twanging,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I hear exactly what you mean because it's, you know, when you're twanging or when you're just speaking,
Yes,
and there's a difference. There's a difference.
you know. All right.
I agree.
So is it necessary in our world? Code switching. It is. Why, Rita?
I mean, I believe that you need to accommodate everyone to some extent.
Correct.
Like me, I can't go a gas and start twanging, but at the same time, I can't go into a business environment and start gassing. you
Yeah,
get me?
yeah,
So it's
yeah,
all
yeah,
about accommodating other people and being considerate, eh?
But you know what I find very interesting with that is that as much as I do agree that it is necessary in the world that we live in, I remember I was like job shadowing and everything, and I was like, you know, sitting in on meetings and everything, having a field time, and you'd expect in that professional space to hear the same accent or the same way of speaking.
And it's
like
not the case.
And that's not the case. You will hear people speaking in their like natural tones, natural way of speaking, very openly and with confidence.
Yeah.
And it's not just inspiring, but it's also like more like you award that person more credibility in your mind, because it's like you came into this professional space where people are all speaking the same way, and you decided that I don't care how people are speaking, I'm going to stay and speak the same way from my roots.
Yeah.
And I feel like in that sense, people they're still able to build
Yeah.
themselves up. They were
Yeah.
still sitting in the same boardroom as people were speaking with the, hey guys.
Okay, so let's throw a spanner in the works. Code switching, right? Code switching tends to happen with people of color when we're addressing non-people
Yes,
of color.
100%.
Now, if it's a French-speaking person speaking English,
Me.
Girl, talk French.
right?
No. I
So
don't
it's a
wanna go.
Parlay.
So it's a French-speaking person, it's a German-speaking person, it's like a European or like an Asian person speaking English.
Even African.
Yeah, right? But I'll get to that. We accept that accent more
she's
compared to the so-called black accent,
Yeah.
cooking.
right?
Yes.
So now I'm gonna throw it in the thing. So what you guys think about that? The fact that I'll be more accepting of, not so me, we are more accepting of a German person. No offense to Germans, we love you guys. Is your quotes, if someone speaks in a German accent, we're accepted, or like wherever they're from accent, and then someone from us, then we're like, oh, this one.
Not
Like,
educated.
Please use a better example. Nigerian.
Nigerian. Please no, but guys, can I say something? I feel like with them, because they have their own special accent. We don't really. I know. No. I mean, like people that are not African,
Yes.
African people. When they're speaking English, it's very difficult for us to understand what they're saying. Though they have to pronounce things in a different way, and they have to twang for us to understand. With us as well, for them to understand what we are saying, we have to code switch for them to understand what we're saying. Because for me, when American people say water, can I have some water? I'm like, what are you saying?
It's not a joke. They actually do. Like,
You see?
"Here's some water."
Sir, yeah.
All right. So we've any
But
opinions?
sorry, like on what you were saying, I think like in as much as they do have to sometimes adapt their language to, you know, speak to people with like English speaking or only understand like a specific accent, I do 100% see what you're coming from, because in a professional space, you hear, if you hear like, for example, an Asian woman coming and she's speaking in her like natural tone, natural inflection, and she's not adapting her way of speaking to the way everybody else is, that would often be seen as a better accent to have than a black accent or an African sounding accent.
Yeah.
And it's the way like the way the black accent is portrayed as being like dirty or not
uneducated,
like uneducated or ugly, and those are stereotypes that come from our history. Like that's where those stereotypes are rooted in, and it's what makes us even ashamed to speak in a black accent, because we think that, oh, a black accent is an unprofessional accent. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do think that's a very good point, in that in the world that we live in, the way that the black accent has been portrayed as, or the South African accent, or specific, every tribe has been portrayed, is that this is a dirty accent or an unworthy accent of being accepted in professional spaces. So I think that is very true to our society, and very worrying even.
Rita, you have something to say?
So I once experienced a situation whereby so we were at work and we had to divide into two groups. So one group was like those, proper speaking people.
Yeah.
And the other group was like yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yes, in a way. And when they had to and when others had to choose groups, they're like, hi, I'm going that side because it's the Model C group, the private school group. And those ones were like, how? So you guys won't come to us because we don't speak proper English.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like that's degrading to some extent. Guys, it's not right, hey, it's not right.
So it's going back to that thing we discussed, that code switching is sometimes necessary, and sometimes we do it consciously and unconsciously. All right, we'll be back. You guys, if you have any questions, any comments, let us know. We'll be back.
Why am I living? What is the meaning of life? Is this all there is to life? Can true Christianity lead me to a life of fulfillment? These are questions most people, believers and non-believers, often battle with. Every human being has an inner longing to be loved, accepted, and cherished unconditionally. We all desire to succeed and live a prosperous life. What happens when this inner longing is not satisfied? What happens when the attained success doesn't bring inner satisfaction or peace? We resort to other means that may be harmful, not only to our bodies, but to our souls. The unfortunate reality of our modern day is that one may have all the luxury, material, and finances in the world, yet still feel lost. The tormenting void, feelings of loneliness and emptiness, the non-existence of inner peace and joy. What is the answer? Is there a cure for this? Many, as the scriptures reveal, have gained the world and its pleasures, but lost the true essence of life, the one element that makes life worth living, whether one has much or little. Above everything, our inner beings seek something more meaningful, more satisfying than what our external being crave. Something purposeful, and yes, something likely intangible. Our souls, darkened by artificial scales of vanity, lament in secret while we continue to hide behind the worthless but fancy outward appearance. As such, we've lost touch with our God, the Creator, the one, the only one who can cure, heal, and fulfill our inner void. Our connection to true Christianity is broken. Many are blinded to the true path of life. Yet, there is hope. There is an answer. There is a solution. You can change your life. You can change your future. And the time is now. Time to rise from the bed of worldliness, the darkness of religious deception and ignorance, and embrace the path of true Christianity, as well as the freedom thereof. Join the man of God, Prophet Philipanda, for a revival from the 19th to the 26th of April 2023 at the Château de la Plimasserie, Paris, France. The theme is Time to Seek God. Email us at frontstrip@impactforchristsa.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Before the break, we were talking about code switching and staying true to yourself. And you guys are going off in the comments and carry on with it. That's very good. So I'm just going to go through a few comments here. So the first comment I have here is Luke, who says, "What's this showroom?"
So a showroom is how you want people to see you. You're showing what you technically want people to see about you and how you want people to see you as. Yeah. So if you know you like, a nice example that Prophet likes using is that you know you're a rule girl by heart. You are a rule girl by heart, but then when you come here, all of a sudden you want to be a city girl and be seen in a particular way, even though that's actually not you. Do you guys have add-ons to explain what the showroom is?
Yeah, and I know somebody also gave an example, like an easy way of explaining it is with a real showroom, is that like when you come in to buy a house, and you know when you walk in, the first thing you see will be the showroom, where it's, you know, beautiful furniture, gorgeous setting, the best part of the house essentially. But then once you've purchased the house or gone in further, you'll see the reality of it, where the furniture's gone, the beauty's gone. It's just the real raw bones of the house. So it's kind of just that is a representative of the fact that the showroom is what you show people and what you add onto yourself to show people that might not necessarily be what you are at your core, but rather just what you want people to see. So yeah.
I hope that answers your question. And if you still have any questions, you can still go back to the teaching that our father taught on this past Saturday. It's titled on YouTube, Salvation Classes, so you can always just go back and look through it. So here we have another example of code switching from Gabriel Sibindi at home. We know him. We know him.
That's our homie.
Yeah. He says here, I'm Congolese, and my favorite phrase is "Qu'est-ce que tu fais?" which means "what's up?" And I can tell you as a Congolese man, he's lying.
Is this not what it means?
And I can also tell you that he's code switching. This man is not Congolese.
You said receipts out. You said put the man on blast on
Yes.
a public platform.
And
So-
here is truth.
So, qu'est-ce que tu fais? The direct translation is, what are you doing? But I guess it's also what's up. So, he's a wannabe. But
Your side
We still
eye.
love you. We love you,
Gabriel.
Gabriel.
No judgment.
side eye.
I
We
gave
love you.
Space. Safe space.
Safe space.
So, we have another comment here.
Damn, Ruben, side eye, bro.
Side eye.
Bombastic.
Oh wait,
Bombastic.
I don't think we've explained what side eye means for people who don't know
If
what
you
it
don't
means.
get it,
and we
forget
guys
about
keep
it.
saying side eye. I'm
Sorry,
here like,
side eye. This is us being ourselves, guys. So we're being real. Side eye is like
Hi,
So when you-
guys. Hi.
when you look at somebody. So okay, it literally means like you're side eyeing somebody when you see somebody do something that's actually like crazy, embarrassing, something that is not, you know, making
not
sense.
make sure.
And
It's
you're
not
giving
make
them.
sure.
You're not gonna look at them directly, but you're giving them the look of "We see you, girl."
Yeah.
Side eye.
And it
You
comes
have
in
been seen.
levels. That's why we say side eye.
Bombastic side eye.
Criminal
Offensive side eye.
Thank you.
So yeah.
Levels to it, ne?
Good. Origin is TikTok. TikTok inside joke.
Yeah.
Follow us on TikTok, by the way.
Oh
Thanks.
yes.
Thank
Youth
you.
page.
Then you'll get the joke.
Yeah.
Right.
if you're lost,
If you
You're
don't
not
get it,
alone.
forget about it.
you're not alone. You're not alone. So we have another comment here from Vlogs at Co. He says, I think the change is subconscious because if you're at school and talking to your friends compared to when you're at church.
Let's
That is so true.
because in the house of the Lord, it's Amen, brother.
My sister in the Lord.
Thank
In fact,
you.
no, it's not
fellow, my
amen,
brothers
it's-
and sisters.
It's shalom.
Shalom. It's not hello, it's shalom.
Shalom.
Brothers and sisters. Shalom, brethren. Shalom, brethren.
blessed.
I hope the Lord is with
Yeah,
you.
how are you? I'm
You
blessed.
get to school. What's going on?
To that comments, 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10
No,
for
but
you.
it is real.
It's so
So,
rude.
so his opinion is that this person's opinion is that code switching is subconscious. Remember we were talking about that. So his opinion, and you should also leave your comment, your opinion in the comments because you're also part of this conversation.
Oh, yes.
You're not left out. So his opinion is it's subconscious.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I agree with that.
Love it.
I disagree.
Okay.
Oh,
But-
so
okay.
give us your opinion if
No,
you disagree,
no.
brother.
Jay,
Give us
Jay.
your opinion.
I agree.
Huh.
I agree. So we have Luke who says, guys, here's a valid point. When people are usually in a foreign country, they'd want to quickly assimilate so that it doesn't really expose who they are for fear of discrimination.
He ate that.
Bars.
He said he left no crumbs.
No crumbs. Okay, but let's unpack it.
Unpack it for us.
It does. So, okay, I'll start it.
What you guys were talking about side eye? How do you give it?
Side eye.
Or you just say you,
You
don't
just
give a
no,
side
you
eye?
just you
give
do
the eye.
it.
You- okay.
Give the eye.
You deserve a side eye. You deserve a
But I
side
think
eye.
with that comment especially, I think discrimination, and like we're talking about before, how like often black people the black accent would be considered as less than or a dirty accent.
Yeah.
And that would cause obviously for discrimination because of the history of black people in white spaces. I mean, look at South Africa's history. It's
hectic.
moment of silence.
With a capital H. Hectic.
So is it right for me to say side eye now?
No, it's so unnecessary.
No, I'm learning. I'm learning.
in this setting because it's a serious setting.
Oh, okay. No, I'm
You know
learning.
what? We'll give you points for effort.
Okay.
You know what? You're trying. You'll
A
get
for
there.
A for effort.
Yeah.
F for execution.
So to also unpack what he said, like also like in our current times in South Africa, there might be people come from Zimbabwe and they could hide that accent because as South Africans we're known for being xenophobic. So I think people, Luke is right. We're doing it to protect ourselves. So another good thing is to also, self-preservation is important.
So it is necessary for the world we live in, because sometimes it's not even a situation of like black versus white, but sometimes it's even black on black crime
and
like
white on white.
Yeah, exactly. And I saw a TikTok about this where it's like, me being Zimbabwean, but when I come to South Africa, I'm bullying because I don't want to face discrimination. No, because it's real. Like, she's being real, and it's like
honest.
she does not want to face the kind of discrimination that comes, ask a taxi like where you going and they hear your accent and they don't want to take you anywhere. You know what I mean? So I think that's in that situation, it is very much like self-preservation and keeping themselves safe. So it is necessary.
So going with what you said now, Luke also said after his comments, he's like, so if you have a secondary English name, you'd rather use that name because you don't want to feel out of place.
Yes.
Not me though.
Not me though.
But 100%. I agree with that statement, because I feel like it's very, some people, because like you go for a job interview, there's a study about this. You go for a job interview and your name
can reduce
your chances of getting the job or getting an interview at all because you have a black name. But the name that you put there is
name.
Yeah, like a hard black name, like
Difficult one.
So you are saying if my name is T'Challa on the CV,
Again.
You can't. Chichala, you must put Charles.
Charles, James, Jameson.
Put Charles.
Yeah. But if your name is, like, for example, I don't go by my first name and it's an English name, you will not know what it is. You will not know what it is. You will not know what it is, because I know if I tell you guys, you're gonna go and just start calling me that.
Correct. I'm not lying.
But I don't go by my English name because like I said, I'm so proud of my Venda identity, and that obviously came about after I realized the importance of my culture and my language to my identity. But otherwise, I understand where people are coming from, like going by a white name versus, and that's even the reason why people got white names in the first place. Oftentimes, is to protect themselves from like the discrimination that they face in society.
Yeah. Even like there was I won't mention the company. There was a company here in SA where they did a case study, where if you had a black name and you had a white name, if you had a white name, your order or your ride would be cheaper.
Really?
No.
Din, din, din.
Read the news, y'all.
So side eye.
Yes.
I got it.
Yes.
Side eye.
Bombastic side.
So that's a bombastic side eye.
Bombastic side eye.
Anything else or next comment?
Next comment.
So here we have Tommy, who says, a 10-year-old finds this very relatable. Thank you for watching. So this is for everyone. So if a 10-year-old can find this very relatable, she says a 10-year-old finds this very relatable. After change of school, the tone has changed due to new environment. So you see, it doesn't only affect us, even a 10-year-old
does.
And that's when it starts, because she's so
young.
Yeah.
And I think code switching happens, like even, I remember there was something with Peppa Pig. With how kids...
She did not just oink.
You really did. So with kids who watched Peppa Pig and kids who didn't watch Peppa Pig, kids who watched Peppa Pig turned to like incline their accent to like the British accent.
Daddy.
Yeah.
No.
So they naturally inclined that. So code switching can happen right there in front of you with your child because you have Peppa Pig. Even like Americanization, there's a certain way we sometimes speak because we're watching like a whole lot of American shows.
Yes.
True.
especially with exposure to things like Netflix
Yeah.
and Showmax, and a lot of the TV platforms that we
Mandy.
have are Western media,
Yeah.
American media. Even the news we get 9 out of 10 times is focused
On
on
Western.
Western media, and because of that, we're so inclined to value that more and value the way they speak more and their terms and everything. So 100%, and it's so painful because even I think from the young, it begins at the young age, and like when you're very young, when you're 10, 11, 12, that's when you're the most impressionable.
Yeah.
So that's when the code switching becomes so a part of you, because 9 out of 10 times you're going to a new school, all your friends are speaking the same way, so you're going to speak that way.
Yeah.
Because you don't know anything more or anything different.
I don't know if that's code switching. I think that's just environment.
Oh, this is
Yeah.
true.
Because you can move country, you can be a South African at core, like at heart, or you're born here and raised here for like the first 10 years of your life, and then you go to Australia. You're not gonna keep the South African accent.
This is true.
So I think that does play a
Yeah.
role in it.
But what does that not depend on what age you are?
Yeah,
Because-
it does depend on your
Definitely.
age. So if you are like moving at a younger age,
Yeah.
like you can't expect a 10-year-old who's growing up in Australia now for the rest of their lives to
This
keep
is
their South
true.
African accent.
Yeah.
Whereas like, for example, if I go to Australia
It's over.
and then all of a sudden I come back 6 months later and I'm like, yo, mate, you're gonna be like a
Ay,
girl.
nah,
You're gonna go for the party. Gonna go on the Barbie.
Yeah. So I think, it's
Yeah, no.
it depends.
That would be a bombastic side eye. Yabona, mangabuyi njalo.
Okay, so look again. He says so. Code switching
well,
in a way.
MVP commenter.
Yeah. So code switching in a way helps, and it's not in every place that you can freely express yourself. Other people or cultures tend to treat their people more favorably.
Wow, that
He's cooking.
Look,
Look.
cooking,
Let
spitting
him
bars.
Yo,
Look.
you should have been here.
Look.
Where are you?
That's stop.
Look.
No,
We are looking.
I can see you. I can see you're trying to make the joke work, and it's not working. It's not working.
Okay, don't call me out like that.
It's fine. At least we caught on. All right. So is that are those all the comments we have? So
Oh,
far?
we have one more comment from G Light Music. He says, "I find code switching at church very corny and religious."
Wow, he kind of.
Why you have
he
to-
said
Yeah,
horny and religious.
Dad, like why you have to come for people's throats like that? He really held us by the neck.
Yo.
But he's cooking, and it is like, why is it religious though? Oh, you know what? Heard.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
How
No,
I
like,
agree.
and I hear why
But
he's
please
saying it's
elaborate.
religious.
Why is it
Yeah.
religious? Because I don't
Because
understand.
remember, we spoke about how when you're
Shalom.
at church
Yeah.
and when you're with your friends,
Even
now
the
here
body
you start saying
language,
amen, brother. You start saying shalom.
But with your friends, they don't even know you can say
Yeah.
They
amen.
don't know.
So-
They don't know what shalom means in your mouth.
It
You
becomes-
are
Nothing.
Yes.
Actually.
More or less, it becomes hypocrisy. Yes.
Okay.
He said, "Let it cook." Robin has been cooking.
Yo.
Yes. So that's all the comments we have.
All right, cool. So let us continue. And it says, does code switching mean you're not your real self? I think we've touched this earlier, but what do you guys think about that? Hanatula.
No, but we said this before though.
That's what I'm saying. I know we've said it earlier on.
It really depends on if you really know yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
I
So
hope
we're
that
saying-
answers the question.
So it's saying that you guys are saying if you're code switching, you don't know who you are.
No, it depends on how you're
No.
code switching though.
Yes.
And where you're code switching. If you're doing it just to impress other people,
Okay,
then
then there you've lost the
know who
plot.
you
Yeah.
are. Yeah,
Not
but
losing
if
the
you're doing it in
plot, yeah.
professional settings, then that's a different situation.
Yes. Yeah. And I think also like code switching, one thing about like watching code switching happen is that it's important for us to remember not to judge people who are doing it, because we can't judge people
Yeah.
for the way that they've, been like succumbed to the world or succumbed to their environment or their settings, because we don't know what their experiences have been. They might be code switching because their last experience when they were speaking in their Nigerian accent was they were faced with xenophobia.
Yeah.
Hey.
Do you see the side eye I'm just giving her now? But I'm saying, like, in that case, we obviously can't judge people who are like code switching.
Yeah, and who are just trying to protect themselves.
So, in other words, it's
Self-preservation.
not really our place to decide for other people whether or not it's being real to themselves or not, but for ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we know ourselves, I guess, really well. So, I'm not going to say the best because you know who knows us the best? God. Because God will do it.
Amen. Hallelujah.
But I mean, like, I think that like when it comes to ourselves, we're the best judge of whether or not our code switching is real,
or
being real
not.
or not.
All right. So thank you so much, guys, for the comments, and we'll be right back.
Lola.
Oh, you're gonna want to get ready for this week's talk show as we interview a famous Jewish rapper, also known as West Side Gravy. Tune in on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Don't miss out. Be there or be told. Oh, you're gonna want to get ready for this week's talk show as we interview a famous Jewish rapper, also known as West Side Gravy. Tune in on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Don't miss out. Be there or be told.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for watching.
Hey everybody, welcome back. So just before we close off the show, our last thing we want to just throw in there is code switching related to having role models. So for example, I don't know who you look up to. Maybe it could be the Prophet, it could be Megan Thee Stallion. So you switch how you talk according to who you relate to. So if Megan Thee Stallion is your person, you're going to be there, Megan Thee Stallioning, all right? And if it's Prophet, who's your role model, you're going to talk and you're going to talk the way he talks or how he articulates himself. You'll imitate it. What do you guys think about that?
True.
Yeah,
I agree.
Agree
Agree
on
on
I
what?
agree and point blank period.
Yeah, you said agree on what, honey? Please
I
elaborate.
agree. You know what? Let me tell you. With
Tell
me, my role model, guys, trust and believe, bro. I'm there with her, bro. Like,
Megan Thee Stallion.
no, no, Hypo, no, that's yours, maybe, because you've been saying Megan Thee Stallion, but no. Guys, my role model, if you don't know, you don't know, but everybody should know this because I talk about her all the time. I feel like she inspires me as well with the way I talk, the way I behave, because she's so professional.
Yeah.
So I want to behave the way she behaves sometimes in a professional manner.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. I agree.
Who's your role model?
Who is it? You haven't said the name.
Bonang.
Pain Jolly.
Don't just say it, Bonang.
Yes.
Can I just... Ding. The side eye.
No.
The side eye
No,
I just gave you.
No.
So
My-
we have a comment here for you,
Oh,
for Precious.
they cooked us a comment that
Frank,
quick.
Frank says, astronomic side eye.
No. Ngelumbuze uthi why?
But I think with the role model the role model thing, I think that's especially important when if we want to like be a version of ourselves that is really good or really valuable to like ourselves, and we aspire to be like something like the Prophet, and he doesn't code switch. We sound the same to this person, to that person, person there, doesn't matter who it is. He will sound the same, and because of that we pick up on his way of speaking because of the way he is real with his own language, because it's something to aspire to. It's like we want to speak like you because you love the way you speak. So and I think that's for all of us. I think we should just like be mindful of that, is that Prophet is a living example of how when you're real with yourself and you know who you are and you keep speaking to everyone, you keep your language the same with whoever you're talking to, that'll make other people aspire to be just like you as well. So I think that goes down to us being real with the way we are and being careful of who we choose to be our role models.
Hey, so not just a child because Bananga's a role model.
That's your role model. That's your role model, girl.
Nizongiyeka.
Do what you gotta do.
She's
Do what
done
you
the things
gotta
that
do.
need to be
Do what
done.
you gotta do, queen. Champagne, darling.
Asipia Rita.
So with that note, I think, like, in terms of role model and code switching, at the end of the day, the main theme here is staying true to yourself.
Yes.
So now, if you're copying someone else, like,
Exactly.
say,
Who wants to copy a photocopy?
yeah.
I want the real thing.
What if your role model is a photocopy?
But when your role model is a prophet, it ain't no photocopy.
Yeah.
And we're not against
Yo.
having role models.
Personal.
Disclaimer: we're not against having role models. You can have people to look up to who you aspire to be.
Yes.
And if you aspire to be that person, we're not saying you want to copy them. Let's say you're a lawyer and you look up to some lawyer hand who's doing the most in law, and you're like, one day I want to be like this lady and better, which is chilled.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like, let them inspire you, but be yourself still. Yeah.
So they're there for inspiration. They are your muse.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So that's it for today's show, guys. So before we close, we have a quick ad. Please stay tuned because we have a nice show happening for you tomorrow.
And I was sitting in a classroom. It was a very diverse school, and we were learning about all the different holidays and different ones that were going around. And I mentioned that I didn't celebrate a holiday because I'm Jewish. Like,
Tune in on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Don't miss out. Be there or be told.
Bye-bye.
Thank you guys so much for watching. And we were talking about language today, so merci beaucoup pour... Merci beaucoup. Yes.
again.
Now, I'm questioning if Gavi is the real fake Congolese or is it me? So, guys, as you saw on the ad, tomorrow we have a very special interview with West Side Gravy, who is a Jewish rapper, a Jewish musician. So
Oh, yes.
make sure you're tuned in tomorrow. Same place, same time.
Bye.
Au revoir.
Shalom.
and I was sitting in a classroom. It was a very diverse school, and we were learning about all the different holidays and different ones that were going around. And I mentioned that I didn't celebrate a holiday because I'm Jewish. Like,
Tune in on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Don't miss out. Be there or be told.
and I was sitting in a classroom. It was a very diverse school, and we were learning about all the different holidays and different ones that were going around. And I mentioned that I didn't celebrate a holiday because I'm Jewish. Like,
Tune in on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Don't miss out. Be there or be told.
and I was sitting in a classroom. It was a very diverse school, and we were learning about all the different holidays and different ones that were going around. And I mentioned that I didn't celebrate a holiday because I'm Jewish. Like,
Tune in on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Don't miss out. Be there or be told.
and I was sitting in a classroom. It was a very diverse school, and we were learning about all the different holidays and different ones that were going around. And I mentioned that I didn't celebrate a holiday because I'm Jewish. Like,
Tune in on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Don't miss out. Be there or be told.
and I was sitting in a classroom. It was a very diverse school, and we were learning about all the different holidays and different ones that were going around. And I mentioned that I didn't celebrate a holiday because I'm Jewish. Like,
Tune in on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Don't miss out. Be there or be told.
and I was sitting in a classroom. It was a very diverse school, and we were learning about all the different holidays and different ones that were going around. And I mentioned that I didn't celebrate a holiday because I'm Jewish. Like,
Tune in on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Don't miss out. Be there or be told.
And I was sitting in a classroom. It was a very diverse school, and we were learning about all the different holidays and different ones that were going around. And I mentioned that I didn't celebrate a holiday because I'm Jewish.
Tune in on Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Don't miss out. Be there or be told.
And I was sitting in a classroom. It was a very diverse school, and we were learning about all the different holidays and different ones that were going around. And